It can take a long time to create short form pieces of content from long form videos such as podcasts. That's why in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can do this in a matter of seconds using Riverside. But first, let me show you how you would normally do this inside Premiere Pro, because I know a lot of you use Premiere Pro, but it's not efficiently built to create shorts from long form content. So as we can see here, I'm inside Adobe Premiere Pro and I have my podcast pulled up. And the first thing you'd have to do if you want to make short form pieces of content from long form videos is to actually select the right content. So you would have to sit down, go through the whole podcast episode, in this case it's 41 minutes long, and try to find the best parts. This can be very time consuming. But let's say you actually do that. You go through the whole podcast, you find the right ones. All right, so I have these markers here and I want to make a short form video from this marker and this marker. Essentially these clips here, I want to make a short form piece of content from this. It's not really that easy to do that. Let's say if you go into the project panel and you create a new sequence, you can go to the new item button, new sequence. We'll name this short 01 and then click OK. What you can do is go back into this sequence and then just copy and paste the clips from the one sequence to the other. But this isn't really efficient because you can see here, it doesn't really organize all the clips for you. You have to still manually move clips around and it's just not that efficient. The other way you can do it is if you go back into the sequence, you can reframe the whole sequence using Premiere Pro's feature Auto Reframe. And to do that, just to show you, inside the project panel, you can right click on the sequence and go to Auto Reframe Sequence. And then from here, target aspect ratio is vertical 916. You would click create, but still though, you would still have to manually adjust the different elements on the screen. You can see my podcast logos off to the left here. My guest is full screen. There aren't options to really customize this. So you still have to do some fine tuning to really get it looking the way you'd want it. And that's where Riverside comes in. Not only does it automatically find the best spots for you, but it gives you a lot of tools that make it very easy to edit your shorts. If we hop over to the Riverside platform, you can use Riverside to record videos, whether it's podcasts, long form videos, or you can also choose to upload videos. For me, I launched a podcast called the Post Show Podcast, so I host guests. So as you can see here, I have a few recordings that I've already recorded. If you want to record a video or host a podcast, you can go to the record button at the top menu here, and this will open up the studio. As you can see, you can select the different cameras. So for right now, it's selecting the FaceTime camera, but you can choose the video switcher. If you are using a video switcher with an external DSLR, you can choose which microphone to choose. So in this case, I'm using a Rodecaster Duo as the main mixer. That's what's going from the microphone into the computer. But you can click Join Studio. And then at the bottom, you can hit record. And at the top, you can click invite. You can share this link with other guests and they can join your session. Now, sometimes I have videos where I'm maybe on another person's podcast or where I'm just talking for a long period of time and I want to trim down my clips and make shorts out of that. You can upload videos directly to Riverside as well. So from the top menu here, you can click upload and then you can click and drag your video or click select file. For example, I have this clip right here that's 35 minutes long where it's just me answering questions on a podcast. So I can just click open. And as you can see, Riverside automatically uploads it, and then you can create short form pieces of content from this clip. So let's see how we can create short form based content from these long form videos. Inside Riverside, when you go into a session, whether it's a recorded session or an uploaded video, you can scroll down and you see this Magic Clips feature here. You can click generate right away, or you can also adjust and customize the settings. If you click on this button, you have an option to choose the ratio. So by default, it's going to be 9:16. But if you wanted one-on-one or different options, you can choose the different options here. You can also choose the layout. So you can choose to select smart scenes, or you have different options here. Me personally, I like using the grid where I show both guests at the same time. So I'm going to choose that for now. And then for the duration, if you know that your target duration should be under 30 seconds or maybe 30 to 60 seconds, you can choose one of those options. You can choose to apply a brand, and I'll show you this a little bit later in this video, and then you can click save. So now let's click generate. So if we click generate, you'll see that we have the set duration here. By default, it chooses the setting we choose before, so 30 to 60 seconds. And then you can focus on the speaker. So in this case, I want to focus on my guest, Gabby. So I'm going to click on her name because I want to focus on her answers rather than me. And then the topics to highlight. So if you record your podcast or video and there are certain topics, keywords that you want to focus on and make short form content out of it, you can choose to add keywords in here, and Riverside will automatically trim down clips associated with those keywords. So in this example, I'm going to type in college because we talk about her college experience. She went to Ohio University, so I'm going to type in that as well. So with these two keywords, we can now click generate clips, and it'll create generated short form pieces of content around those keywords. All right, so it just finished. As you can see, we have our magic clips here to the right-hand side. It took a few minutes, and it really depends on the content. But let's take a look at how to edit these. So if you hover over this, you can click on the edit button, and this will bring you inside the editor. All right, so if we take a look here, you can see that we have our preview right here, and then to the left-hand side, we have our text-based editor. So we can actually see what we're saying. We have the transcript of what's spoken between me and the guest. And what's nice is it's color coded. So you can see my sentences and waveforms down in the timeline here are in purple, where when Gabby speaks, it's in green. So I can easily see who's speaking at which time. Now let's say if I wanted to edit this, say if I didn't want my part in this video here, I can easily just click and drag to highlight different sentences and words that I don't want included in my short, and then just click delete. You can see that it's crossed out now. But what's nice is that it's not destructive. So, when you delete something inside Premiere Pro, it completely removes it from your timeline. But if you wanted to add this back in, it's very easy. You can also add in or delete content from the timeline. So you can click and drag in the timeline here to add in or to trim different parts of the content. So as you can see, if we click and drag this to the left, it adds back in the dialogue that I just cut out. So I'm going to undo that for now. I'm going to trim out my answer, and we can start right when Gabby speaks here. If we click play,
it definitely put a kink in the system for sure.
You can see that it generated captions for us in the timeline, which is really nice. It also has my logo up top. If we take a look at a few of the settings on the right, we can go to the AI producer. We can choose to set the pace here. So if we click on this, right now it's set to original, but we can go to super fast. You can choose to add smooth speech, removing filler words and unwanted sounds. You can choose magic mute, and you can choose to turn on magic audio. So with all of these applied, you can see in the timeline, it's reflected where it chooses to remove all of the gaps and the silences. You can see all these little grayed out sections here in our timeline. So if we click play, we can see what we have.
It definitely put a kink in the system for sure.
So that's a nice way to trim, cut out all the silences, and get it more concise. Now for branding, you can click on the brand tab here. And as you can see, you can upload your logo. So I've uploaded my podcast logo here. You can choose to rearrange this and resize it as you wish. You have other options too in the brand. You can select your color palette. So there's a specific green I use, and other options here as well. Now under layout, this is where you can choose to select smart screens, full screen, picture-in-picture, split screen, or grid. I like grid. This will display both guests at the same time. And then captions. So by default, it'll choose a random caption for you, but you can easily change it by going into the caption section. You have a lot of different presets to choose from. The one I like to use is this one here. You can rearrange it. You can put it right in the center here if you wish. You can choose different fonts from the font options. You can choose the size, whether it's 2 lines, 1 or 3 or 4 or 5. For me, I like 2 lines. You can also change the color. So for the highlight color, I like choosing my brand color. And you can add this to your presets by going to the ellipses menu to the right and click Save to Presets. This will be added to the top section here. So as you can see, my presets at the very top, I can easily just click on that, and it applies those style adjustments to my captions. If you don't want captions, you can always remove them by going to the very bottom and clicking on Remove Captions down below. But as you can see, we just created this short form piece of content within a matter of minutes using Riverside. Once you're done, you can click export at the top right. You can choose from the video quality. You can also choose to normalize audio levels. This is helpful if your guest is a little quieter or if your different participants are at different audio levels. You can also choose to remove background noise as well. Once you're done, you can click export video. And if we go back to go to exports, you can see that it's exporting out, and pretty soon we can download it from the menu here. And that's how you can use Riverside to create short form pieces of content from long form videos. Now, if you're interested and you want to start for free today, you can use my link down in the video description. And if you're interested and you go and choose a Riverside plan, you can save up to 15% off using my coupon code from the video description. That does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think of Riverside down below. But that does it for this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.